welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy, with Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here today as I talk to my guest, Daniel, as we talk about stretching. I know we're like 2 months in, heading into can you believe it's 3 months into 2025, and some people have yet to start their resolution or even complete their unfinished business. Well, today I have of course, Daniel, who's a guru in exercising, all about stretching, all about making it interesting and fun. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, Daniel. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us, and we surely look forward to welcome back to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. I'm going to bring my guest, Daniel, on now. Let's give it up for Daniel. Hey, what it do, Daniel? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So before we jump right in, can you tell people a little bit about yourself? And then we're going to get right into talking about how we can really get this blood flowing throughout our body.
Absolutely. No problem. Well, as you heard, my name is Daniel. I don't know, a little bit about me. The most interesting would be I was born and raised in China. I've been an athlete pretty much like all my life. My main sport is basketball. Played a little bit of professional basketball, and then moved into like the training sphere, or did like more like personal training stuff. And now we're here.
Oh, wow. So before we get into it, born and raised in China, how was that? And how did you come to why did you come to the States? Because I would think staying in China, like, okay.
I mean, like my parents moved there before I was born, right? And then like during that time it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can say that colored people weren't weren't really accepted much.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that. Right. But
right.
they've come around in the recent years.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So that's good to know, because I would never have guessed, like, oh my goodness, that's phenomenal. Like, especially it's one thing to be born, but to raise, like learning and, getting acclimated. But that's great. So at least you had a taste of some of the parts of the world. So that's awesome. So how did you get into being a guru about exercising, a trainer, how to making sure people understand the importance of stretching?
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, I'll be honest, like I don't really see myself as a guru. Like it's just like I kind of stumbled into fitness, right? It wasn't my main plan. After university, I was like, all right, I'm either gonna go play professional basketball or I'm gonna be a chiropractor. But I got injured and I couldn't get into chiropractic school. So I was like, all right, I mean, I guess I can give personal training a try. Right. And then like from there, it was just meeting a bunch of people with different issues, different problems, and just helping them like progress and get results, and even like fighting through my own like personal like problems as well. I was able to like kind of like figure out fitness, and then I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty simple. I'm like, you know what, let me just try to help as much people as I can and just try to keep this whole thing as simple as possible, because the internet is crazy.
Yes. And just as you're talking about just being simple, what is simple? Because like you stated, the internet will have you in the frenzy. Like, do this for 10 seconds. Do this for 9 seconds. Do this. You're like, okay, especially someone who wants to work out, someone who really thrives, but really trying to find a routine. So what is simple? What is something that someone should really focus on who does not work out, or who work out but doesn't have the full capacity of willing to, even though we should?
Right. Right. I mean, like, okay, so well, first of all, like simple for me is if a 5-year-old can understand it, anybody over 5 is going to be able to understand it, right? And then when it comes to fitness, like the simplest way to go about it is like first things first, figure out what your goal is, right? Because like without like a actual like measurable goal, you're just going to be like trying to like shoot a dart at a dartboard with your eyes closed, right? You're just like hoping that you might hit the mark. You know what I mean? Right? So like figuring out your goal, and it's like, okay, what are the 5 habits that I have to maintain to make sure that I'm moving towards this goal? The easiest things is like legit, just make sure that you're eating your protein, make sure you're eating your veggies and fruits, right? Don't go crazy on the oil. Don't go crazy on like drinking your calories. Walk more and hit the gym at least 3 times a week. That simple.
Wow. And and it's funny as you say it's simple, right? But sometimes we could take simple and really turn to something so chaotic and so
Yeah,
hard. Because
yeah.
do you find yourself when you're working with people or people probably reach out to you, they have so many excuses. Why do you think that people have so many excuses when we know we only got one temple, one body, and we need to take care of this temple? There's no Pat man, oh, this body is taken. Let me go get that. Even though
Yeah,
you can you could come, you could get plastic surgery or whatever, but at the end of the day, you still have the one body,
yeah.
the one soul. So how do you combat people who come up with so many excuses?
Oh man. I mean, there's so many reasons for why people have excuses about like all this stuff. Part of it is just like for some people it's how they grew up, the
Yeah.
people that they hang around with, so they're used to like a certain like lifestyle.
Okay.
For other people, just like human nature in general, we like to make things more complicated than they have to be,
Hmm.
right? And then if I'm talking to someone and they're telling me, oh, I want to lose, I don't know, whatever, 20 pounds, I want to gain muscle, I'm like, okay, cool, I want you to do ABC. And then
Okay.
they're like, it can't be that simple, there's no way that's it. I'm like, that's literally it.
Yeah.
Just do ABC for however long, and then you're gonna get to your goal, right?
Mhm.
But people try it for like 2 weeks, and they're like, "Oh man, it ain't working." I'm like, "It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you've never been in the gym. You're like 30 years old, right? And then you're expecting your body to just like snap into shape in like a
Yeah.
month. Like, it doesn't work like that, right?
Mm.
So people try to make things like really complicated, or like they have like a microwave mindset. Like they
Yeah.
expect everything to come like quickly, but our bodies just don't work like
Now,
that.
can you? I mean, sad to say, that's what everyone see, and I even go deep, even lower, air
Yeah,
fryer,
yeah,
right? Because again, they feel as though, hey, I can work out. People get these quick schemes, and I think social. Let me just say the internet tell people, hey, you want to lose a body with, you want to lose your weight within 14 days. Hey, try this. And I
yeah,
think so many people jump on that bandwagon and thinking that your body's going to conform. When reality, yes, the mind understands, but the body has not to full effect to say, let's go ahead and we could do this, knowing
yeah,
that you got a strip and you want to work this out, right?
hundred
But
percent.
I think people really lack the importance of stretching. I think some people get into the gym and they stretch and they really don't understand the whole scope of stretching. Can you really
Mhm.
talk about the importance of why stretching is very key and why someone should really work on it before and after working out?
Hey, listen, I can go into so many different rabbit holes about this.
Yeah.
Like my personal experience with this is like, ah, okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. Right. So when we're born as babies, we're born super flexible.
Yeah.
And then like as we get older, we lose it. Right. And it's literally use it or lose it. You know what?
Yeah.
Exactly. Literally exactly that. So stretching and mobility is just you are allowing your body to move through its natural range, right? If your arm is supposed to be able to do this and you can't do this, there's something wrong, and you gotta work through that. You gotta fix that,
Mhm.
right? And then like when it comes to fitness, a lot of people like jump into the gym, they start lifting weights, and then eventually it happens to everybody. My shoulder hurts, my back hurts, my knees hurt, right? But like what they don't understand is that pain started like 15 years ago. There was a time when you were like 15, 16 years old, you fell down a swing, you hit your knee on a pole or something, and because you're young, you can just, just stand up and just run off, right? But that injury, that small injury is like a tattoo. It stays there and then it comes back later when you're older and when your joints start to get weaker. Yeah. So I had my experience. Like I've broken almost every single bone in my body. I've hurt every muscle. I've hurt every joint. There's been times when I couldn't get out of bed. Like even when I went to go play professional basketball, like I tell this story to like some of the people that I know, is like I would wake up and my legs would not bend. They
Mm.
couldn't bend. It took like maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I was able to like practice. But when I came back home, oh my gosh, I'm done. Right. And then it was at that point where I was like, you know what? Let me start mobilizing. Let me start stretching more. Let me actually take care of my body.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw like the biggest differences in everything. So now I'm in my 30s, but I still feel and I move like I'm in my early 20s. And like I pretty much fixed like all my injuries. So it works.
Stretching does work. That is definitely key.
Yep.
Now, when you're working with people, do you find it more difficult for people complaining, or they just gradually they take in what you're saying to really see the difference, like yourself, because you are a living testimony to really explain to people that, hey, you don't lose it, you use you if you don't use it, you lose it, or if
Right.
you break it, you have to maintain it back to health in a way. Just because you're able to walk, that don't mean the bone is together. You really have to massage it back together.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
find it hard when people complain when you're working with them, or are they easy to conform?
Okay, so I don't find it hard. I will say it takes multiple attempts.
Hmm.
Usually on average with the people that I train, it usually takes about 3 to 6 months before it starts to click.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, I'm like, all right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to
Right.
do ABC. We're going to do this exercise. We're going to eat this food. I want you to do these 2 stretches every single day. Don't worry about nothing else.
Yeah.
Right? But they don't get it. And then, like, as we go, they're like, oh, my back hurts. Like last night, I tried to get out of bed and my hip, I'm like, okay, so did you do the 2 stretches that I told you? They're like, nah, but my back hurts though. I'm like, all right, so did you do the 2 stretches that I told you? They're like, nah. 6 months later, yo, I did the stretch and it worked. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me more. That's usually how it goes.
So what is a good stretch that someone should do nightly? No matter if they're in their 20, 30, 40s, what is a great stretch that after a long day, they
Yeah,
probably didn't work out or they did
yeah,
not, but everyone have gone to work. Now they're
yeah.
home relaxing. What is the number one stretch that someone can do immediately today that will really help increase their mobility?
If there was only one stretch, it's
Yeah.
called the 90-90 hip stretch. That is the absolute best stretch on the planet. It does everything that you need. You can do your hips, you can do your lower back, it can help your knees. It's chef's kiss. I love it.
So can you explain what that looks like? I know we don't have a video up, but can you explain what that looks like? Or
You mind if I point my camera down? I can't do it
yeah,
like I
that's
can't I
fine.
can't I can't do it like just
Yeah,
sitting here. All right, I'm gonna point this down.
yeah.
Pay no attention to like my sparkling water down here. It don't
Okay.
matter. Right? So basically the 90-90 means uh your knees are at 90 degrees. Right? So if you're on the floor, you
Yes.
have 90 degrees in the front, you have 90 degrees in the side right here. Right? And then for some people, this position is gonna be real hard to get into. So like the easiest thing that you can do is put like a pillow or a box like underneath your knee. Right? And then all you do from here, you just like keep your chest up and you drop your belly into your thigh, right? And you just go up and down, you go side to side, you can lean back with it. It's gonna fix everything.
Wow.
One of the best stretches.
I feel like I can do that. I'm
100%.
still, I'm still flexible. I'm still flexible. I can do that. I'm still flexible. I'm pretty much sure I can do that because
Yeah.
in my head, that's why I was like, can you show us or tell us a little bit? Okay, okay. It's almost sitting, Okay, I could sit
Hey,
like that. Bend
you're
forward,
sitting. Yeah.
shake. Yeah. Okay. 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 I'm
You
gonna do
do
a
it. You do
video. I'm gonna do.
legit. Like you can do it. You can do it on the phone. You can watch TV. You can put something in the microwave. Just pop on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be. I. I mean, because in my head, I was like, I can do that. Yes,
Yeah.
I can do that. I can. I can do that. Now, how often? Now, you require that every day or at least 5 times a week. How
Okay.
often?
So when it comes to like mobilizing,
Yes.
there are people that will say at least 2 to 3 times a week. But if I'm being 100% honest, as many times as possible. If you can do it every day, even better, because especially if you have like an injury or if you're like super stiff, Like you got to imagine like you're trying to work through like 20 years of stiffness,
Yeah.
right? You got to give your body as much exposure as possible. So I'm like, if you can do it like 5 to 7 days a week, even better. Right. And it doesn't take long. It seems like it's supposed to take a long time, but legit just spend 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We all got 5 minutes somewhere.
We do. We do. We do. No, that is tremendous. Like I'm so excited. I'm gonna try that tonight.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna look forward to it, and I'm going to try because that is something truly one can do.
Yeah.
So right after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Daniel as he continues to share his techniques across social media and really share the importance of stretching. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest Daniel. You hit the PayPal QR code and so that you can find out more about these Q sets and so much more. Let's get to work. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy across all social media, as well as our Spotify and Apple podcasts. We'll love to hear you. Please make sure that you leave a comment below, for we know Daniel will love to reach out. He will reach out to really share any techniques or something that you may not have heard today, or something you heard and you would like to share. So I'm gonna bring my guest Daniel back on. So yes. So Daniel, so what made you start to go on social media to really share your story, your importance about social media?
Ooh. Um, like I remember in university, I would watch like a bunch of like YouTube videos. There were some like groups that I would watch, and I'm like, man, these guys are doing real good.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is just like upload videos on YouTube and Instagram. I'm gonna try that, right? So like in university, like I was just like posting with no like any clear direction, and I was just doing mostly like basketball related posts, right? And then like when I went overseas, when I came back and got back into training, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start like just posting like 1, 2 exercises here and there, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I wasn't really seeing anything on social media. I didn't really have a plan. I was at maybe like 3,000 followers on Instagram. And then when TikTok came out, I'm like, yeah, I can do some exercises, do a few dances on TikTok. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. All right. And then like it went from like 100 to like 1,000 on TikTok to like 10,000 to like 20, 50. And I was like, huh, this is cool. And then like when I crossed like the 100,000 mark on TikTok, I was like, huh, Instagram's definitely not working. I'm just gonna stay on TikTok and just like post random videos on Instagram every month or so. Okay. And I was doing that, and one video took off. Yeah. And it was like oh, this is how you can fix your knees. This is how you can fix knee pain. That video took off. And from that point, I was like, oh, I see. Do more health related stuff. Okay, got it. And then that's when it started. And then I just started like posting from there.
Gotcha. So now, how do you create your posts as far as you making sure that you tackle the body? Do you have what type of plan, or you just go out spontaneously and just say, hey, we're just going to pick a limb or a bone and we're going to work out? Because that's seeing what people really are driven to, because how they can really mobilize and really work towards what they have and how to get better.
Yeah. In the beginning for me, like, I did have plans, right? Like I would script out stuff, but after a while, I would just get an idea, like if I'm like in the shower or something, right? Or I'll be like, all right, I'm going to talk about this body part today, right? Or I see something on social media and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting topic. Let me see if I can spin it my way. And there you go. Right. Wow. And then I just create the video, edit the video and just post and leave. That's pretty much how it goes for me.
Post and leave. I feel you. So outside of your knee, what has been like one of your most important videos that really have shown what people really gravitate to outside of, showcasing the knee, now that you have people on one part of social media that really gravitate to, to really understand, because the importance that people want to know, many people don't have the money to say, okay, I need a personal trainer, because some people are flexible, but they just need to be shown and really explained to. So what is one body part that you see where people really gravitate to and really need help with in order to mobilize and really understand the importance of stretching?
It's usually the main joint. So it's either going to be the knee, the ankles, or the back.
Yeah.
Those three are usually the hot areas. If I can like speak on like at least one of those areas, people are going to be like, oh, okay, I actually have like lower back pain. Let me try that. And I'm like, good. How'd it go? Did it work? I'm like, all right, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually those three are the main ones.
So what do you say about the ankle? Because again, it's granted, thank God I don't have no issues with ankles. Thank God.
Good. That's good. That's good.
I'm not saying but we're human. We're getting older. So now I know the hip stretch that I'm gonna try. So what about the ankle? What about the ankle? What is something? Because the reason why I say that, because a lot of people have like plantar
fasciitis.
Yes. Yeah. And that seems to be a lot of people problem. That, and when I say people, mean that I hear that a lot through coworkers, through friends. Like my heel hurt, and of course your heel is like your neighbors to your ankle. So I have to say that what you're saying is going to fix their problem, but it's like we're neighboring, and that's always seems to be the issue, because people try to buy what's that another shoe, more of a shoe that helps the foot.
Yes.
But not knowing that, hey, it could be the leg, it could be the ankle,
it could be
pressuring down into the foot. And I'm no podiatrist, so keep that in mind. I'm no podiatrist. I'm just using my own human sense with the body, because
100%.
it works together, and
100%.
try to understand. Yeah. So what
100%.
is one stretch or exercise that help with the ankle?
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna tackle two.
Okay.
Right? So the first one, like for the plantar fasciitis, I have a ball that I have under my table. Every time I come home, if this is my foot, I'm just rolling. I'm rolling the bottom of my feet for like at least 5 to 10 minutes. And I got flat feet, and I've had plantar fasciitis before because of it.
Yeah.
Just rolling the foot out and just letting everything stretch and loosen.
Okay.
Oh, lifesaver.
Okay.
Okay. And then if we're going to go for the ankle, I'm sorry about this, but I got to show it.
Oh, no, you're good.
Right? You're good. If let's say you put your foot like on the floor or something, and you just practice like driving your knee forward, and you have to keep your heel on, you have to keep your feet flat on whatever surface you're on, and just driving forward and just opening up that way. Those are two really good exercises to start with.
Okay, learn something today. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, see, you're helping the sister. You're helping. You're adding more to my bank to make sure, because again, I want to get in front of it, right?
Yeah.
So thank God I got a clean bill of health. Probably you need to lose some weight. I agree. I ain't gonna lie. For the first time, I agree with you.
Right.
But to help with the stretching and really just take time and really stretch and watch a good show to understand. Because and again, like I stated before, I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of stretching. They've been taught work out, just work out. Go ahead and exercise. But sometimes you may take a day to stretch, right?
Yes.
To really to understand what the stretching looks like and really perfect it. Because sometimes I know I've done stretching before, and I feel like, what the heck am I doing? Like, just don't feel like no stretching.
Yeah.
But I've been told to stretch, but I really don't understand the importance of stretching, nor did I sit to really understand the technique to really making sure. So I think that's part of it. Really understand the technique of stretching. Now, even with the lower back, what is like a number one key point that someone should do who does not have lower back pain, but wanting to know what is something they can do now to prayerfully and hopefully prevent any joint or issues with their lower back?
So the lower back, it can be complicated because sometimes the problem is not the lower back itself, but everything around it, right? So usually what I tell people, get your booty gains up, right? Work on that booty, because that thing is there for a reason. It's the biggest and it's the strongest muscle in the body, right? But another thing that it does is when it's really strong, it takes a lot of pressure out of the lower back. It even takes a lot of pressure out of the knees. So you got to get your booty strong. You got to make sure that your hamstrings are like the back of your legs are nice and loose.
Yeah.
And then also practice like bracing the core, like using your core when you lift. Anytime like you're getting up out of bed, like just really practicing bracing. Usually, if you can do those three things, you're gonna get rid and prevent a lot of future back pain.
Well, that's good to know. Now, what are some great foods to eat? Because I know on your show, not when I say your show, hopefully, right? Speaking into an existence, right?
Yeah.
Yay! Daniel show stretching.
Yeah.
On social media, when I saw you had like some food, to understand. Can you talk about the importance of food?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. And of course, we know eggs, but eggs are going up. And some restaurants are even charging. Hey, you want
Hey,
eggs?
I don't know what's going on. What's going on with you guys? Because I'm from Canada, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with the eggs. What's happening with the eggs?
Oh, it's expensive. It's going up.
Really? Hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Eggs,
that at all.
yeah, eggs are going up. Like in restaurants here,
Yeah.
literally eggs here are going up. And they're
Okay.
going up. I mean, I'm not an egg, so keep in mind, I eat egg whites.
All right, that's cool.
But I've been told it's better to get the egg whites from the egg because they have the box egg whites. If that's the case, I don't even eat eggs, so it don't even bother me. But
Hey,
I know when I watch, like when I try to meal prep, I'm always seeing eggs. It's always eggs, 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 this, eggs, that. And I'm
yeah,
just like, okay, is there anything outside of egg? It's
yeah,
like no matter what, when people make quiche, when they make a little small dish, it's
yeah,
always eggs. And I'm just like, okay, when I try to research, it's either some type of oats or something. I just want something tasty outside of eggs. So is
yes,
there anything that you recommend that is healthy where one could really put part of their meal plan
yeah,
and really help towards eating healthier?
yeah. Okay, so like nutrition, with everything that I usually say is like you have to keep it extremely simple, right?
Mhm.
So for every food group, you want to pick, let's say, 3 to 5 items that you like to eat, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people also believe, and I don't know why, that healthy means it gotta taste like crap and
Yeah.
it gotta have no taste or no seasoning or no sauce. I'm like, nah, bro. No, my food gotta at least taste good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not eating nothing bland,
Yeah.
right? So so if you start with protein, like legit is just find the leanest and the most affordable sources of protein for yourself, right? So it could be chicken, it could be turkey, it could be beef, it could be tofu, edamame beans,
Mhm.
right? Literally like just find 3 to 5. Those are usually pretty good examples. For carbs, it's like you have like quinoa, you got like brown rice, you got like whole wheat bread, right?
Yeah.
What else? For fats, you have avocados, you have nuts, right? Like it's just find very simple things that you can stick with and just repeat.
Yeah.
Just 3 to 5 and just have them like in a cycle. And
Yeah.
that's usually how it goes. And then as long as you can get that down and have like lots of protein, lots of veggies, and lots of fruit, you're good. All right. So for fruit, all fruits are good. But if you want more like weight loss friendly fruits, it's like berries. All the berries are fine and watermelon.
And grapefruit?
Yeah, grapefruit's cool too.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
legit, no, all fruits are good. Like it's fine. Because
Okay.
like there's gonna be some people that are gonna be like, oh, don't eat bananas because it's like no, I'm gonna eat the banana.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It really, like you stated, social media will have you in a frenzy if you do not lock in
Yeah,
and you really stay focused on what needs to be done. Because again, like you stated, there's some things where people say, "Hey, you shouldn't eat this," and I'm like, "How am I supposed to eat that?" When they say this is that, that, and the third,
right.
and of course, it runs everywhere. But again, I'm always searching and looking for things, especially for breakfast that doesn't incorporate egg. I can
Yeah,
eat eggs, but I'm okay without the eggs because it's like they talk about protein this, protein that, which is good, but
yeah.
supplemented with turkey bacon, and I'm perfectly fine.
Boom. There you go. That's it.
Perfectly fine.
Just got to get your protein in, and you'll be fine.
Correct. So now, Daniel, as we bring the show to a close, is there anything what keeps you going? Like a prayer, scripture, because we know it's not hard being an instructor. You make it look easy. You still have a life. You know, how do you keep yourself going to really showcase to someone, hey, If he can do it, I can do it and still enjoy life. What is it that
Facts.
is there a prayer, scripture, affirmation
Hmm.
as
Let's
that
see.
keeps Daniel going?
See, I don't wanna be on here and start preaching, okay?
Oh no, you're good.
You
You're
know
good.
what I mean? Like I'm a Christian. My
Yes.
dad, my dad's a pastor, so
Amen.
it's just I so like the way it works, despite what anybody believes in, everyone on this planet has a goal, has an assignment to fulfill. We all have a purpose, right? And then the thing that keeps me going is I want to make sure that when I leave, I have done as much, I have put as much good into the world as possible. I have tried to like fulfill my purpose as close to 100% as possible. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And also like there are a ton of scriptures where it's just like whatever you do, you got to be excellent in whatever you do, right? Be excellent. Um you can never think that you know it all because there's stuff that you don't know that you don't know. So you got
Mhm.
to be open to learning all the time. And then the last one is just do it,
Yeah.
right? If you got an idea, if you have like a dream or a vision, that's a God vision. He put that inside you
Yeah.
because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Just go after it and just do it. I've struggled with it so many times, imposter syndrome, people are not going to listen to me, I'm not this, I'm not good enough, blah 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 blah. But from my experience, especially with social media,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
It don't matter. Just do
Amen to that. And I totally agree.
it.
Just do it. And at the end of the day, I think just to go back what you stated, as far as the imposter syndrome, a lot of us we do internalize. We
Yes,
internalize, and God is telling you, I never told you that. How did you even come up with that? You're allowing you're comparing yourself. That's the
yes,
reason why you're putting yourself at the forefront of somebody else's eyes who don't care what you're doing, how you do it, but you're up here internalize something, and that's not what I called you.
exactly.
I called you for a reason. And if
Yeah,
you just stick with me, I promise you, we will get over the hump that you think that you're not going to succeed. And
legit.
that just comes with a daily. That's why I say pick up the cross daily. You have to be in your word daily. You have
Yep,
to make sure that if this God give you this vision, only you and him could see it.
yep.
But the vision will be clear and plain eventually as time go on. You stay in it. Like I tell people, you don't eat a whole plate of food in one bite. So
No,
you got to take your time, but it's giving yourself grace,
yes,
understand it little by little, and not allowing your eyes to rob you of your future. Because
yes,
your heart knows everything. Your eyes just only knows what is meant to do. See,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
got to make sure that you have a higher calling, which is God, to know that what He calls you for, He's going to
yeah,
see you to the end, no matter what comment, how many social media, because one person, one thing could turn your world upside down or for the greater. So you
one
just
hundred percent,
correct.
100%.
So
It only takes one. It only take if you're talking about social media, it
yeah,
only takes one video.
yeah,
That's what I tell myself all the time, right? And then like even like with what you just said, the hard part is you have to battle like your thoughts and your mindset on a daily basis,
yeah,
right? And then you just got to get through it every single day. Just
yeah.
go, 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 go. And then at some point, it's just automatic.
Yeah. You just got to do it. I remember somebody, and I know this is off topic, people, but when we talk about God, hey, I'm for it. I'm
Hey,
for it.
we could go in many different directions, man.
That part. Let me tell you, brother Daniel, that part. People don't understand. Let me tell you, I remember somebody said on social media saying that while you all are trying to get everything together, there's people in jail who don't care about the aesthetics. They up here making more money than you are while you trying to sit up there. The whole point of saying is just do it.
Yeah,
Sometimes we sit here and we try to make sure everything's together
yeah,
before I got to get this together. There's no
yeah.
such thing as getting nothing together. You can
Nah.
get everything together and it blows up. What you do, you just got to go in there. Sometimes we just have to jump in the water and tell ourselves either we're gonna sink or swim.
Yep,
And the goal is to swim. And
yep,
as the more we swim, the more we find our footing, we
yep,
find our feet, we find
yep.
what direction. But at the same time, it's really God. We allowing God to lead us, God to let us into a direction. So
Hmm.
completely, I'm telling you, and I tell anybody, well, coffee with joy is by the grace of God. While we I don't look at nobody, and I try my best and I stay in his word to make sure,
Yes,
God, what you have for me is for me. So it's because people
100%.
like you, Daniel, who don't know me, who
Yeah,
said yes to coffee with joy,
there you
and look
go.
here right here. It's
There
just the
you
vision
go.
come to pass, and it will happen. It will happen. So I am so grateful and honored, Daniel. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Always. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and Coffee with Joy. This has truly been a great session. If you need to learn more about stretching, please make sure that you reach out to my guest, Daniel. And of course, we're all about Christ here. You know we are, because we can't do nothing without him. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. And if you'd like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes. Any amount would do to keep our company going. And keep in mind that if it's a Monday, Sunday, or Wednesday, or it's a weekday, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose and get that body moving. See you all soon.